And so if Satan, who fell from the light and became the most dark that we know, is the power of darkness, then we know that there is something related to darkness and the control of evil. And so from the knowledge that Muslims have had is that darkness also relates to gravity and gravitation. And so during the full moon nights, what is it that Muslims do? Now we know, if you've been listening to the story, that the true believers in the light do something to protect themselves, and that is called fasting. It was done by Moses, and it was done by all the believing people. As we know, Christians have various forms of fasting. They've forgotten that it should be for 30 days at a specific time, as it was done by the children of Israel and Moses, and as it was taught by Jesus to some of the disciples, and this knowledge has been lost, but it is now here with the Muslims. We know that the Prophet also told us to fast during the full moon nights, and the reason why that is because it is during the full moon nights that the powers of darkness of the other races are stronger, and when a believer bearing the light fasts, it protects us from their powers. Now, if you're a modern day ufologist, you must understand that the alien races get their power from gravitation and darkness, and that when the moon is the fullest on the earth, the gravitational forces change. I'm not a scientist, I don't know anything about astronomy in the world, so that's just something for you to reference on your own. If it's making sense to you in the story, it should be clear, but like I said, I don't know all this stuff. I'm just telling you the word of what we know. And I'm saying that all of this information is what we know from the Word of God and what the final prophet told us. I'm not part of any government conspiracy or a government entity. I'm just communicating to you for the first time in the English language the story of the truth. So if you understand the importance of the moon and how that relates to gravitation, then that starts to explain a lot of the understanding of how their craft work with different forms of gravitation, because they themselves are based on a different form of gravitation in their essence of the smokeless fire. And that also starts to easily explain many of the misunderstandings in modern day people between UFOs, unidentified flying objects in the air, and how many people are now talking about unidentifying submerged objects, because we've said, even back from the story of Solomon, that the jinns or aliens or whatever you want to call them are able to move easily between both, because the powers of gravitational forces don't have an effect on the water, and beyond that I really don't know how to explain it at the moment. And so we must understand that we have to go back to some fundamentals, because here's where I have to give a warning. We said in the fundamentals that there is only one God, and that the Lord Most High will reveal to His prophets the truth. And so that people who want to seek the truth of not just the past, but the future or anything, should seek it from the Word. Now, it is at this point that I'm giving you warning, because so many people are so excited about the information about the jinns and the aliens and all this information, as many of even our highest elite in government are shocked at the tale that I'm telling. The warning is always there, and every person has given it, and so I must also give it. As even I have been wondering sometimes in the past, what is the power that they have, and I wonder what it is. But once you understand the light, then you realize that the power of the light has always been more powerful than any possible strength of Satan, the most demonic of demons, the most evil of the evil races. If we're truly talking about the light of the Lord Most High, you have to start to really put things in perspective. And so you have to see, the Lord Most High has indicated to you in this story that you are going to get a final messenger, and by that the word should be made clear, and that word should be preserved. So now, just quickly to dispel modern understanding of prophecy. Many modern day people come and say, oh, they're a new prophet, they're a new prophet. What do we know? If we're telling you the story of truth, then we're saying that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was the final prophet, and the Quran is always going to be preserved, the very word of the light, in a language that is the best that mankind had been able to speak of the word in expression, that will continue to last because of the plan of the Lord for all time, and be able to be learned by anybody who seeks the truth. that the miracle of that Quran must be greater than you thought. Well, I can't get there, but you must understand what it means when we say the word is that miraculous. But first, we were talking about false prophets. So if we're saying that the messenger is the final prophet, then we know that any person coming after that is not a bearer of the light. As I am not coming to give you any new knowledge. I have no information revealed to me by the Lord. Everything that I'm telling you is from the Word. And anyone can go search every single word that I'm speaking. I'm not whistleblowing anything. I don't have a single secret document taken from any secret group. I'm just telling you the obvious story for the first time in the English language. So false prophets, many modern day people, and you watch it on TV, and especially in a Western audience, they look to people like Nostradamus or Edgar Cayce or Haley, or even modern day gurus or philosophers of UFOlogist or Exopolitics, or, the people on Coast to Coast. And I don't say that I have any ill will against any of them. They are all sons of Adam who in some way try to figure out what's really going on. I mean, what the fuck is going on? Take any of these ones who we call the UFOlogists, I respect all of them, because each one of them in their own way is looking at the world and pondering the question and saying, what is the true story? There is something weird going on, and I am being deceived. And isn't that the way that a person gains the light? As every prophet that we described in our story from the beginning to the end is always saying, I wonder how the light is understood. And only when you're truly looking for it do you start to see the picture. But you have to remember the fundamentals. So all the people who have come after the Prophet Muhammad, all the false prophets, have been using some form of medium, and all of them were different. Some of them might have been benevolent. Edgar Cayce, for example, seems to have been given a gift of one of the malevolent aliens or jinns to heal many things. But as always, we've told you, lies will be mixed with the truth. So you can't rely on any of the false modern day prophets. Do they have a little piece of the knowledge or a whisper of it from the other side? Do they hear some kind of word that something's coming? I see something bad. Hister? What is that? All of the false prophets always gave answers that were cryptic and not clear, perhaps telling you a little piece of the story. But a person who ever claims that they are giving you the truth of the light must tell you in a way that it answers everything. So I hope you're beginning to understand why it is that we're telling this story. So don't fall for any of the evil magic or witchcraft or spiritualism or mystics or astral projection or lucid this or that, or some of the false concepts of reincarnation and magic and Satanism and numerology and all these other powers. The truth of the light has always come one way and one way only, from the beginning of time till the end of the time. It was what the Lord Most High did with our great superior race, which was the Lord taught Adam the names of all things. And Adam taught his sons the word. And every prophet or bearer of the truth speaks the word. So don't get misguided trying to learn of the jinn and the evil side as if they have something special. They have nothing that is more powerful than the Lord. Always remember the fundamentals. La ilaha illallah. There is only one God. I have a few more things to tell you. But before I get into the next section, I want to give a caveat. I know that the story has gotten long, and the next section might seem inappropriate, and I'm going to have to start talking about some things that are slightly personal and relate to my own family, and the reason will be made known, and the burden is terrible on my part that I have to talk about some of my own personal flaws. But if the truth must be told, then the person who tells it must always bear witness to this. I am only a son of Adam. There is nothing great about me. Listen to the truth of the story, because this is the story you've never heard before on the earth in this language. Let me take a break.